So, I went down a rabbit hole of Lindsay Lohan movies, like her early 2000s movies, and I found the movie Life Size that I did not know existed. And it's kind of crazy. And it's Barbie before Barbie, but it's not. It's early 2000s. That's the best way I can put it. So, I'm going to break down the beginning of it, and then we can kind of get into some of the character dynamics with each other and the kind of just the implications of this movie. Yeah. Okay, so the movie starts and it's this cute little doll intro. The song plays. Doll says her lines. It's cute. Whatever. Then we see kids walking down the street and they pass this toy store, and one kid looks in the window of the toy store and is just like, I want something with a microchip. And it's kind of crazy. And then the lady that owns the toy store is like, we used to not be able to keep dolls on the shelf. These kids want all this high-tech shit. And you know what? They predicted that. So then it cuts to this football game, this kids football game that's going on, and we see two of the players arguing, and then boom, one of them is a girl. That's Miss Casey. That's who this movie is about. Welcome to the floor, Casey. It's Lindsay Lohan. That's the point. She is so severely not like other girls. She is in the trenches. What is it? The I don't give a fuck war. She's so severely not like other girls. You guys just don't get it. You wouldn't get it. And you never will. After this, Casey is looking all depressed and shit, and then we cut to her neglectful father. Ben? I think his name is Ben. In this scene where we meet the dad, we meet Drew, who clearly likes the dad, and the dad's coworker, buddy, friend that's kind of creepy. And yeah, we just won't. He's not important. We don't need to talk about him. In this scene, we pretty much learn that the dad is neglectful because his wife died, because Casey's mom died. And he's not ready for anything, and he is not ready for a relationship. Casey is looking at a resurrection spell. Her dad comes in and apologizes for being neglectful and then uses his work as an excuse for that, because he is purposefully burying himself in his work so that he does not have to deal with his feelings about his wife dying, and by doing that, he is neglecting his daughter. Father of the Year award. Then it's bedtime. She goes to sleep, and then we see her the next day. Casey has an interaction with a group of girls, and then she runs into this bookshop. And she's looking around for a second, and then she finds the Book of the Dead, the literal Book of the Dead, and she cannot pay for it. She looks at the price tag. She cannot pay for it. So she writes an IOU and just leaves the store while the owner guy is talking to somebody else. Back at home, Casey's having cake with her dad because it's her birthday, and she kind of just calls him out for being a shitty dad and not talking about their mom ever. So that goes down pretty weird. The dad's kind of weird about it, and he just brings up a memory of their mom to be like, look, I remember things. And it's okay. But she had to ask. Drew, the lady that Casey's dad works with, stops by and puts more work on her dad, and then gives Casey a doll for her birthday, whenever she is so clearly not that girl. Pay attention. And it's just not a good impression, man. Because that means one of two things. That means either the dad never talks about Casey, or Drew never fucking paid attention whenever he did. So one of these adults is not doing it right. So the doll is Eve. She is the doll that we saw the commercial for in the beginning of the movie. And Casey she's just not having it. She's really just not having it. She's just not that girl. That's just not her gig. It's just not for her. And you know what? That's cool. So Casey kind of storms out of the room. Not storming out, but she's just cringed her way out of the room and into her room, where she is now setting up her ritual while she has a guest at the house, which I think is odd. They show that she is using her mom's hairbrush as the body part of the ritual. You get it? Yeah. The thing that you put in the middle. Cool, got it. Then Drew knocks on the door, comes into Casey's room, and then just starts like touching something on her shelf and knocks a bunch of shit over. And Casey's like obviously upset by that. And so she just packs her stuff up and goes into a different room to put it all away. While Casey is in this other room, Drew is still in Casey's room, which I find odd because I feel like if I was in that situation, which I wouldn't be in that situation in the first place, but if I was, if Casey stormed into the different room, which I'm guessing is her bathroom or something, I would immediately exit her room. I would not be in there anymore. Drew starts brushing Eve's hair with Casey's mom's hairbrush. And so, yeah, whenever Casey goes to perform the spell and she uses her mom's hairbrush, Eve's hair will be on it. So the resurrection spell resurrects Eve, and then insanity ensues. You get it. And that's the setup for the movie. Okay, are we good now? We good? You got it. Get it, got it, good. Cool. So this is how we meet Eve. This is the basis for the movie. Yeah. And you're seeing the similarities to Barbie. You're seeing it. We're all feeling it. Yeah. So let's get on to this character shit. One sec. So initially Casey is horrified, obviously. She has accidentally brought a doll to life while trying to resurrect her dead mother. But Eve is like thrilled to be alive, and she immediately starts treating Casey like a new project. Eve's energy is crazy. She is this like pure feminine chaos meeting this deadpan grief-stricken 12-year-old child. So they clash, they very clearly clash. Casey calls Eve a freak a few times, and Eve is she's just so optimistic. She's just so optimistic. And of course, over time, Eve's big personality and sincerity cracks Casey's shell, and she becomes kind of this weird, like, maternal sister figure. Eve is teaching Casey about hope and femininity, and Casey is teaching Eve about mortality and imperfection. In the end, they genuinely do love each other, and Eve gives up her life to return to doll form. It is very touching and existentially pretty horrifying. Next up is the relationship between Casey and her dad, Ben. Initially, they are obviously extremely emotionally disconnected. Her dad is consumed with work and just really, again, I say, neglects his kid. He just completely misses out on all of these opportunities. During the middle of the movie, Eve kind of helps Ben be a better father and start putting in more effort with Casey, albeit through a lot of chaos. And in the end, obviously this is a kid's movie, there is an emotional payoff. Ben and Casey do get closer as father and daughter in the end, mediated by a doll in a miniskirt. The dynamic between Eve and Ben is weird. Eve treats Ben like he is this charming leading man, and Ben treats Eve like she is just this malfunctioning human. Their chemistry is weird. Eve falls for him in that, that kid movie way of like, I saw you one time and now you're the love of my life. So now I do understand this because this kind of romantic tension with Eve and Ben forces Ben to loosen up and start spending more time not doing work. But then you do see this grown man falling for this, it's kind of weird, because it's kind of that thing of like, she doesn't know anything. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch Poor Things, but what I heard from it feels like that. Like, this is a child in a grown woman's body. And it feels a little weird. Now we are just moving on to some of the reasons why I think this movie is just insane. First and foremost is that Casey performed necromancy at age 12. That feels a little worrisome. She straight up finds a spell book in a bookstore and tries to raise her mother from the grave. At one point, I think she's a librarian, even helps her with this. Eve represents like this ultimate consumerism and the mortality of that as this creature that she is, this living plastic. She is the living embodiment of product branding, and she faces this like existential crisis about being discontinued, which, hey, That's scary. She cries whenever she finds out she's being replaced by newer dolls. I don't know, it feels like it's literally like capitalism gaining sentience. So, yeah, that's so fun actually. The third thing, Ben does not question this woman, and that blows my mind that he does not question this woman whatsoever. This strange woman just shows up in his house and he's like, yeah, I mean, she's hot, I'll keep her around, I want to look at her, you know? And it's just, ugh, it's icky, man. It's a little icky. And I do want to say that I think Drew is not in the clear, but is more sane than the dad. In the situations. Next up is that society pretty much just accepts Eve immediately. She gets this job, nobody asks her for her social, phone number. They ask for her address and she gives the one from she gives like the commercial line, the address to say the commercial. What is it, like Sunnyvale or something? Sunnyvale or something like that. And then the end is very much like a metaphysical horror in which Eve sacrifices herself and her sentience in order for Casey to move on from her mother's death and move on and grow. And yeah, it's really weird. I'd give it a watch. There's a song at the end. It's pretty rad. There's a lot of good lines on it. It's so 2000. That's all I can give you. It's so 2000. Watch it. I don't know.